Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Challenge podcast. This is episode 21, and we are recording for the first time in 2022. Welcome, Leighton. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Challen?
I'm good. I'm actually pretty hot today. It's hot and humid, so summer is in full force over here.
Winter here, man.
Winter has come.
Weird how that works. Oh, yeah, it's cold now. Last night was -9. What's it now? Let me check.
Bloody hell.
Now is apparently -4. Heat wave.
That's quite bad. We're at 30 degrees and it's 4:30 in the afternoon.
It's going to be -8 by 9 a.m. So,
Has there been any snow yet?
Not in Daegu, no. No. Japan had some snow, though, but not Korea.
Always beautiful to see. Speaking of snow, we are going to be reviewing the festive season game weeks today, briefly, what we remember about them. And then we're going to be looking at DOUBLEWEEK 22, lots to talk about there, along with some stats. And then we're going to rapid fire predict things going forward and then look at our plans. I'm not sure what you're laughing at, but
I was just laughing at you trying to link that. Like, speaking of snow, let's talk about the snow games that happened. I was thinking, where's he going with this?
It was a pretty good transition, I thought.
Yeah, if you do you, man.
Thanks.
Be proud of yourself.
I've done worse.
That's true. You have.
Speaking of doing worse, tell us about your December game weeks, Leighton.
And this is where the stream ends for Leighton. Good night, Charlie. I remember December was awful. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong. And I was taking mega hits to try and rectify every situation, and it just would get worse. It would escalate worse and worse. But I can't remember the Christmas fixtures. I know I did badly, but you did a free hit and you did worse than me. Was that Christmas?
Around then, I did because we got the second free hit, right?
And yeah, we got. Yeah,
I think I free hit it in game week 19. I'm looking at the rank your history now, and in game week 19 you actually went up in the rankings slightly, and then game week 20 as well you went up slightly. So you've actually had a pretty decent festive season, but you did have to take hits.
Yeah, I was taking quite a few hits, but because I remember you took the free hit and you told me, I'm not going to free hit, because I was considering free hitting at the time because we were given the extra one. And then you did free hit, and I was worried that your team was going to slam mine. But I think that was the week where every player who was expected to do well didn't seem to hit the ground running.
Yeah, I wasn't going to free hit, as you mentioned, and it was either a free hit or do like a -8, I think it was. But the -8 was for some random players. And then when I looked at the potential free hit team that I could get, and I think it was Kane and Ronaldo up front with Son or with Salah in midfield.
That sounds like a good team.
And then the rest of the team looked so good with the City double defense. And I had an amazing team on paper. So I thought, damn, I've got 2 free hits. Why not just use the one now? And then got a very average score in the end. But I mean, it didn't cost me anything, so I don't see it as a bad risk to have taken.
I mean, if it had paid off, you would have been pretty happy, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you went up in the rankings slightly over Christmas, and then this game we came, and I must admit, when I saw what you did, we spoke about it privately, and you said that you were considering 2 moves. I think your moves that you were considering were Reece James because he was injured, and Bernardo.
Yeah.
And you're going to get Sofal and Bowen, I think you said. Oh yeah, that was the main thing. You wanted to get Bowen in the team. But you also said you wanted Gray and you wanted to get Tony as well. But I didn't think you were going to do all of them. And then you did.
It was one of those things where I thought, okay, these guys all have double game weeks, which didn't work out well for Everton. Did Brentford have a double game week? I can't remember. Was it cancelled?
I think one of them was postponed. I can't remember. Honestly,
Everton was postponed, right?
Yeah, that was definitely postponed.
And so I took the big hit, and I just thought I'm so far back in the rankings. I don't have enough players. I don't want a free hit, and yeah, so I took a -12, and then I decided I'm going to use my triple captain in this double game. I thought this is a really good week to use a player who's so in form. And actually, when I thought I'm going to triple captain Bowen, I didn't think everyone was going to captain him. It feels like everyone captained him. So, but I remember I said to you, "Oh, I triple captain Bowen," and your text message was just like, "What?
I couldn't believe it.
Like, what have you done?" And I thought, if he scores a couple of goals, I'm going to be flying. But that first game where he just got one assist, I thought, oh my god. I thought, what? And then I saw the Everton game was postponed, and I thought, if West Ham's game gets postponed, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna just quit.
Yeah, I mean, going into before last night's game, I can tell you in preparing for the stream, our scores yesterday were, I think you were sitting on 43 points on a -12. So you were actually on like 31 points. And I was
Mm,
maybe on like, I don't know, 50 or 40 something. So
mm.
looking at that, I thought, damn, that -12 is looking bad. And then last night, well done. Hats off to you.
Yeah, well, it worked out. I have good luck with the triple captainship most of the time. I'm just hoping that everyone captains Salah in a game week where he doesn't play once and gets subbed off or something. That's my hope.
You had, yeah, it was crazy luck because, okay, you obviously didn't watch the game because it was crazy early morning hours for you.
I didn't even know the game was last night. I had no idea.
So, like, I was watching it live because I could have been watching the Carabao Cup semi-final for Chelsea if I was a loyal fan,
Mm,
but I had a feeling we would wax Spurs, so I thought
mm,
I'd watch the Premier League. And then watching Bowen get his first goal disallowed, and then he hit the post, then he finally scored, and then I thought, okay, this is already a good result for everyone. And then he scored again, and then he had another goal disallowed, I think. And I thought, you
mm.
could have had 4 or 5 here. And then I imagined your score, and I thought, wow, that's what could have been.
Man, if he had scored 4 goals, and it's funny because I looked at the result, and I was I normally check the sport when I wake up, and I know it's the Carabao Cup, and for some reason I looked at the West Ham Norwich score. I saw it was 2-0. Saw Bowen scored, and I was so out of it. I thought, oh, of course they do well in the Carabao Cup. And then I saw your message, and I was like, what? Why does he care? And then I read, oh God, they're playing a double game week. He scored two. And man, if he'd scored four, I'd have just passed out.
Probably would
Could
have.
you
I mean,
imagine? I would have had 100 points for him.
you would have literally had 100 points from Bowen. But I mean, like, yeah, looking at the rankings with this result,
Mm,
you ended on 98 for the game week. Fair enough. But I mean, you went
mm.
up from 2.2 million before this game week, so you've nearly cut your rank in half. And just like that, you're set up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that one good decision has definitely helped. And I've still got 2 free hits. So yeah, it's pretty good result.
What are you happy with your team going forward? By the way, yeah, just tell us about the rest of your team while you're at it. You had,
Yeah, so the Hare in goal got 3 points. Sufal in defense, 12 points, pretty good.
hmm,
I didn't know who to choose between Regulon and Davis, so I went with Regulon. I thought he'll definitely start 6 points. Trent got 4 points. Hold on, sorry, my cat just closed my PPT. Cat's like, don't do that now. Then I got rid of Silver. I kept Gundogan, and I thought he'll probably do better. He didn't. Gray, 2 points because the game was cancelled. Son Heung-min got 6 points. Tony was up front, 2 points. Antonio, 9 points, not too bad. He was the other person I was considering captaining, but I wasn't going to consider a triple captain because I thought a midfielder against Norwich is probably going to get a clean sheet. So that's why I went with him. Ronaldo, as always, let me down, 2 points. And then Bowen, my captain, 63 points. That's nuts, man. 63.
I forgot you brought Tony in not because he had a double game week last week, but it's because they have a
Mm.
double game week this week.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so you had Wang in your team, so it made sense to just
Mm.
get rid of Wang, who wasn't doing anything anyway.
Yeah, he's been. Is he got a knock or something?
I don't know. They just don't score though, so decent
Mm.
option. But yeah, very good
But
overall.
yeah, 63 points for a triple captain. You take that, don't you? 2 goals and assist,
I
some
think it's
bonus points, clean sheet.
still slightly less than Sanchez did back in the day for you, I think. I can't
Oh
remember.
yeah, he got me like 90 points or something. It
Yeah, it
was
was ridiculous.
it, it was ridiculous. Sanchez double game week, triple captain, Arsenal days.
Yeah,
Oh,
good times. But yeah, thankfully we both went up in rankings this week, so we have a good positive outlook going forward. Uh,
hmm
I ended up on 87 -4. I got rid of James and Smith Rowe for day. I wanted a Spurs defender, so I got Davis, and I ended up doing Gray just because, well, he had a double game week, and I knew that Smith Rowe probably wouldn't be starting much. So obviously that looks bad on paper now, but Gray's going to have a double game week soon, and they have good fixtures, so I guess I have to hang on to him. The rest of my team, though, De Gea in goal, Trent got 4, Diaz and Cancelo cost me my clean sheet again. Davis got 6 off the bench. Salah scored and now he's at AFCON. Captain Bowen, thank God for that. Bernardo got me an assist, thankfully. Jota returned again. Gray got 2. Antonio scored as well. And then on the bench, I had Watkins. Again, would have been nice if Watkins played, but we'll talk about it shortly. Villa are going to have a double game week, most likely, in the next week or two. So, very good to have him. And Livramento and Broha scored me 8 points on the bench. Not upset about that, but yeah,
mm.
probably going to have to sell him.
Yeah, Davis had 6 points on my bench. I should have gone 4 at the back and not had Gundogan or Gray.
Yeah, it's tough though at the moment, must admit.
Who would have known? Who
Yeah,
would you have captained if you didn't captain Bowen? Would you have gone Antonio?
yeah, guaranteed. But
Because
I was
that's the
always,
first week
yeah, I
you
was
haven't
always,
captained Salah in
yes.
so long.
It was always going to be Bowen though, because he'd been in very good form. And Antonio, although he did
Hmm.
score the week or two before, Bowen's
Hmm.
just been non-stop for the last month. So didn't expect that, but
Yeah.
very happy nonetheless. Uh, let's have a look at the. No, we're not going to look at the game week. Game week, double game week news. Uh, Double game week news. Ben Killen once again created all these lovely graphs and sheets that you see. And the teams that have double game weeks this week are Man United, Tottenham, Leicester, Brentford, Watford, Burnley, Chelsea, and Brighton. Probably the best fixtures on paper are probably Watford
Man United?
and Man United, right? On paper.
Aston Villa and Brentford is pretty. If it was Liverpool,
Yes.
bloody hell.
It should be
If
good,
it
right?
was Chelsea or City, but Man United can't even beat Wolves.
Who knows?
They've
Yeah.
gotten worse.
It's it's really it's a weird club at the moment. Like
It's just
I know you have
what a
Ronaldo
mess.
up front, and again, you're pretty happy. There's no way you're gonna sell him. Although I did see news today that
He, he,
he's not entirely fit.
he's not entirely fit. I mean, if he just plays 1.5 or something, then cool. If he comes on for 10 minutes, he's the type of player who could come on for 10 minutes and possibly score a goal. But the thing with Man United is their fixtures are amazing. Like, if you look at those fixtures, Aston Villa are in great form and they've just had some good signings. Brentford, West Ham, Burnley, Southampton, Leeds, Watford. They're pretty good fixtures. Who else has got good? These are the worst double game weeks I've ever seen.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this, and we knew they were coming, but they ended up dropping, and we
Just,
don't. They don't look good for anyone really. But yes, as I mentioned, I think Watford on paper,
mm,
attacking wise,
yeah,
they look good for the double game week at least, and then for the week after. So Newcastle, Burnley, and then Norwich. It's
yeah.
pretty good.
Di-
Even West Ham and Brighton after that.
yeah. This is the reason I won't free hit. There's no team where I'm like, I need these players because I just don't know.
Well, I'll ask you about that shortly. Are you considering Burnley, Leicester, Watford?
I mean, Burnley have just lost their striker, which
Yeah,
is a huge blow for a team that's fighting relegation themselves. So I'm shocked they didn't ask for a lot more money.
yeah. I think that's what I thought as well. But I think that was his release clause. So
Ah, was it? Okay.
that they just met it, and he just it's kind of dick
Yeah.
of him though. Like I'm not sure if the club just said, okay, you have to go. We need the money, because surely he can decide whether he stays or goes.
I mean, the problem is, right? Let's say I worked for McDonald's and Burger King came to me and said, "Hey, do the same job and I'll give you 3 times the amount of money." I'd say, "Fuck you, McDonald's. See you later. I'm gonna go make a Whopper." These football players, they're people, right? And I can't imagine in many professions where someone comes along with a money offer that's massive. You're gonna go. These players don't have loyalty to their clubs. Of course they don't.
That's true. I guess if it was, it would be maybe slightly different if it was someone who was actually from, like, born and bred Burnley. But it's
Right.
Chris
If he was
Wood.
born and bred Burnley and
It's
he went
Chris
to
Wood.
Newcastle, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But like you're a Chelsea fan, but let's say you were playing for Chelsea and they paid you. I mean, how much was he on at Burnley? Probably like 30 or 40,000 a week. It's probably not on a ton compared to the other
Not
players,
much. They're very strict.
right? And then Man City come along and said, "Callum, we want to give you." Let's say you're at Chelsea on 70,000 a week, and Man City say, "We want to give you 300,000 a week." You're gone, aren't you?
Yeah. In that scenario,
Even though
without
you're
a
a
doubt.
fan, right? When fans complain about players having no loyalty, I'm like, listen, I work for a private English institute in Korea. If a different private English institute came to me and said, "We want to pay you 3 times what you're," I'd be gone. I'd be like, "See you later."
Yeah, you have to think business first. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Career-wise.
So I don't blame him as well. He's probably going to get a lot of money at Newcastle.
Very clever signing by Newcastle, though. If you think about it, like,
Mm,
obviously when they bought the club, and
mm,
they were linked with the Mbappes and all sorts of massive players. And
yeah.
then people might look at it now and think, oh, they were linked with that, and look who they've bought. But if you look at it from a realistic point of view, they're in a very good in with a very good chance of being relegated. So
Mm,
the fact that they've bought essentially one of their relegation rivals' best striker is
yeah.
genius. And they bought him for
It's
cheap.
a double. It's such a double whammy because then Burnley are going to struggle to score goals. They lose points. Newcastle will get goals. They'll get points. So I think it's a great signing. I
Very,
really think it's good.
very good signing. And they've signed Kieran Trippier as well from Atletico
Yeah.
Madrid. So again, there they've got the supply
Yeah.
line. They've got Chris Wood who can head balls from everywhere. So good
I,
on them.
I think people forget as well when Man City were first coming up. They were just bought. They couldn't just go out and buy big players. They have to go buy some smart signings, and creep up the league, and then they can get more big players. You can't do something. You can't go get Mbappe or Haaland.
Not straight away, at least. That doesn't work that way. It's just realistically.
I mean, I'd play for them for like just double my wage. It's
Yeah.
nothing to them. I'll sit on
Send,
the bench.
send out a message to them. You never know.
I'll be like, I'll do it for £2,000 a week. Bargain. Bargain.
Also, on the same train of thought with why they bought him, is
Mm,
worst case scenario, they get relegated. They've
hmm
immediately now signed a striker who is built to destroy the championship. And he did destroy the
yeah.
championship the last time he played in it. So good signing.
I think the last time Newcastle went down to the championship, they got 100 points, didn't they? I
Yeah, destroyed
think they
everyone.
smashed it. They destroyed it. Newcastle will be right back up. Why are we talking about Newcastle? Oh, because
Uh,
Burnley. Yeah, what
Signings in
Burnley
Burnley.
players do I? It's they're playing Leicester and Watford, so I don't expect a clean sheet. I don't expect goals. So no, I'd probably avoid them. to be quite honest.
I would too. I'm not going to buy them if I'm not on a free hit. I wouldn't buy them if I was on a free hit. Actually, you know what? I probably would buy them as my bench players because they have like
Mm,
Lowton and Brownhill who are like 4.4, 4.3. So that's good bench fodder. But besides that, there's enough squad value to choose an 11 on a free hit anyway.
yeah, I wouldn't personally.
Are you happy? You're happy with Tony, even though he has Liverpool and Man United? Or are you just content? He's not Wang, so.
Hold on, let me just look for Brentford, Liverpool, Man United. Yeah, it's a double game week. Liverpool, I don't expect a goal against Liverpool, and Man United possibly, maybe, who knows? He's just good. He's got 2 games. It's worth having him in there.
Yeah, I think in your case, like you had Wang, so why not
Mm,
roll the dice? You know, if they could get a penalty, he could get a goal.
yeah,
It's as simple as that, and it's a good person to have. Um, Having a look at
and
Leicester,
then
what do you think about them?
I think that's they've got some difficult games. I don't understand Leicester. They've been doing well against big teams, and then they kind of choke against other teams. Burnley, I'd expect Leicester to give Burnley a good kicking, right? But Tottenham, I think Tottenham they seem to be well organised under Conte. They've just lost Son Heung-min, so I don't expect Leicester to go out and beat Spurs. Probably a draw. But the Burnley game is quite good if you have the money for Vardy or a Leicester player.
I think honestly, at the moment, I'm not sure about
Hmm.
specific things. We have to listen to the team news, but I mean, they
Yeah.
had their previous game postponed because of they had like 9 fit players or something like that for the last few
Hmm.
days. And I think Vardy's out for the next while. Their other striker, Daka, and
Mm.
Ian Nacho are both at AFCON, so they have no one up front. And Harvey Barnes, I guess they'll have to play up front. And I think the only person who's tempting from them is Madison in midfield
Yeah, I was about to say, what about Madison?
or Tielemans. Those two are their biggest draws, I guess, at the moment.
Mm. I think many FPL players at the moment have the problem that Son is injured or Salah is off in AFCON. So I was going to say, because we'll probably speak about this later, but Madison could be one of those players to fill in that void of Son for that double game week.
Yeah, I mean, we may as well talk about it now. People who, before
Mm.
leading up to this game week, knew that Salah was going away to AFCON, so they sold him in
Mm-hmm.
advance to buy Son, who's had
Mm-hmm.
okay results, and then now Son got injured in game week 21, and he's probably out until what, beginning of February at least, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
So for people who've sold him, they now need to sell
Mm.
Son as well, probably because it's double game week. So
Yeah.
the question is, are you going to sell for a player who plays twice this week, or are you just going to hold on to him and then just bite the bullet and buy Salah back in a week or two when he comes back? What do you think?
I think it really depends on how strong your team is, right? If you've got a player who can fill that role of Son, then maybe. But for me, I'm not going to wait 2 weeks first, and it could be longer.
Yeah.
You don't know. If Egypt do well in the tournament, then it could be 3, 4 weeks, right? Do they have to quarantine in the UK?
I don't know anymore. I
I don't
think
think they do, right?
as of today, I think rules changed again for the UK. I think
Well,
so.
it's a problem. It's a problem in the UK, I know, because I know that England is different to Wales. So I know that spectators are not allowed to any of the Welsh games, like Cardiff City or Swansea City. But those fans can travel to England and watch Cardiff play, and then go back to Wales and not watch. It's a bit of a mess, I
It's
guess.
a bit weird. So if I'm assuming you're on the
Mm.
sell Son boat. Then
Yeah, I'm probably on the sell Son boat. I prefer to sell him, get someone in, get me some points. I'm keeping the money so I can get back to Salah anyway. So,
so you're going to aim for a double game week
and
player this week then.
I think so. Yeah, probably. if we're going to sell him, I want to get some points back.
Is anyone tempting you?
Um, well, I was considering Maddison, and then I thought, oh, what about a Liverpool player? But Liverpool only have a single game week. And I thought, what about Chelsea? But Chelsea play Man City. So it's really difficult. I don't know who in that midfield would replace Son.
I think, looking at the fixtures, personally, I
Mm.
wouldn't go Chelsea because in less than, was it game week 24, they have the Club World Cup. So they miss game week 24 and 25.
Oh, yeah.
So I would avoid them. But
Mm-hmm.
looking at the rest, your option you've mentioned, Madison, Tielemans maybe for penalties.
Mm.
Brentford I wouldn't touch. Madison maybe. Then you have the option of either doing Son to maybe Mora. It's a sideways move in Spurs, he'll play.
Mm.
But then you're not sure how well he's going to do. Or, again, another,
Sancho.
there's, okay, similar, but not exactly the route I was going down. I was going to say a bit of a risk. That's a big risk. A slightly similar risk would be, I think you have the money to do Son to Bruno Fernandes.
When was the last time Bruno did anything of
Yeah, but
merit?
it's Aston Villa and it's Brentford. It's 2 bites of the cherry.
But Aston Villa are doing great. I mean, Brentford as well, right?
But out of those 3 players, so let's say you had to choose between Bruno, Madison, Mora, Tielemans. That's 4. I guess maybe Trossard from Brighton.
Probably go Maddison. I just feel against Burnley. It's basically United versus Brentford or Leicester versus Burnley. And I got Ronaldo for United, so I don't feel like I need another United player. Probably go Maddison. Or Teals. I don't know, man. Oh, your volume's off.
And captaincy?
Hold on, let me look at my team.
You have Ronaldo, so I'm assuming he's going to be a captain.
Yeah, but the problem is I don't know if he'll play both games.
True.
Like if they say he's fit, he's playing against Villa, then of course I'll be like, okay, he's my captain. You know who could be a really good captain?
Who?
De Gea.
Yes, that's currently where I'm leaning to as well, because when we'll get to our teams, you'll see I don't have many players. So I have 2 options, which I'll tell you about.
For Aston Villa and Brentford, Coutinho comes, scores 5 goals. Welcome back.
So much. Coutinho.
Aston
Yeah,
Villa don't have a double game week, right?
not this week. Having a look at the next graphic, which is the one after Ben Quillen by Lego Mane, it just shows you the gap between the games. Game week 22 is on the 14th of January, and then 1 week later is game week 23, and then another week you see game week 24. Game week 24, there's a blank for Chelsea and Brighton. That's in game week 24. There won't be any double game weeks. That's been confirmed because of scheduling things. But we can expect maybe small double game weeks in 23, in 25 probably, and I think 27 is going to be a big blank game week because that's the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So that might be a good week to use one of the free hits if you have them. But Aston Villa will probably get a double game week in the next week, 23.
Aston Villa.
Which could be good if you're
double
going to.
game week.
They have Coutinho now. They bought Luca Dean, Watkins. I'm very happy as a Watkins owner because now they have someone creative again. Hoping for the best. Are you tempted by Dean by any chance?
Oh, I find that weird business by Everton. Why you don't play this guy? He's pretty good. The Everton sucks at the moment, right? You've got this really talented player, and you let him go to Aston Villa.
Makes no sense.
I don't get it. I think Benitez is on a mission from Liverpool.
I mean, yeah, there's obviously a philosophy that that the player didn't agree with, so they're getting rid of the bad egg in a way, I guess, while they still can.
But their philosophy was you sit on the bench, and that was about it. That's all
And
he did.
now they're seemingly improving a near direct rival. So we'll have to see.
And Everton are they're so low in the table. It's quite risky.
It is very risky.
And you already have so many injuries. But would I consider him if it's a double game week? Of course, if he has a good run of games, why not? I consider Coutinho as well. I feel like his stats at Barcelona are not terrible.
They weren't. It's just not sure whether you're going to get the same results out of him that he had at like Liverpool in the past.
Yeah, but I mean, if let's look at Aston Villa's fixtures, right? Why I can't find Aston Villa? I'm blind. Everton, Leeds, and Newcastle, and Watford. That's some good fixes.
They're good, and that's the reason why I haven't sold. We'll talk about my transfers at the end, but that's why I'm not selling Watkins this week, even though they play
Mm.
United, because I know they have the double coming up, and they have good
Yeah,
fixtures anyway, and they're playing
they
well
have
as a
really
team.
good fixes. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gerrard's really doing some good stuff with that team.
he is. Looking at some other
They ask him,
players,
boss, what should we do? And he says,
I've enjoyed those videos. What do you call them? Impressions?
impressions.
There we go. Yeah, very funny.
Yeah, his videos are good.
Having a look at some other players, though, stats wise, we haven't looked at
Mm.
stats for the last month or so. So, with the double game week in mind, looking at defenders, on the left, you can see the players that have double game weeks this coming week. And top of the pile for defenders, still Trent. Second, we have the Tottenham duo of Emerson Royale and Sanchez, so they're worth considering, definitely. Cancelo and Robertson still there. Doherty is there from Spurs, but I doubt he'll play 2 games. And then we have all the other double game week players. I mean, there's Burn from Brighton. He's a cheap option, 4.4 if you need money. Uh, I'm not considering Man United defense, but if you are, there's Alex Telles. Chelsea defense also there, but again, Club World Cup coming up, so I wouldn't consider that. I don't think you are either. Nope, shaking your head, definitely not. And Davis is there. I'm happy to see that. And there's Region is there too. I was considering him, but I can't quite afford him. Are you considering buying any more defenders this week? Double game week wise?
You know, I say this every week, and I'm going to try and not take a hit. And I'm not looking at free hitting this week. I just don't think the fixtures are favourable for a free hit. So no, my answer is no. I've got Trent. I've got a couple of Spurs defenders. I don't see any upside to getting any defender in at the moment.
Yeah, I do agree. Plus, you have the Spurs double up in defense already, and you have De Gea in goal. So that's already 3 double game week defenders. You don't really need a fourth. Plus, you will play Trent
No,
guaranteed. So those are your 3 defenders already. If
yeah,
anything, you're going to concentrate your transfers on your midfielders or strikers.
exactly. The only thing, if I was doing a free hit that I would probably do, yes, would be get rid of Son to a Leicester midfielder maybe and get Kane. Because do you have Kane?
I had Kane on the free hit. I don't have Kane at the moment.
Okay.
I'll show you a
But yeah,
draft.
I think Kane would be really good. Don't get cats; they're very destructive. He's knocking things over. Were you born that way?
Yes, it probably was.
Is it nature or nurture?
Having a look at the midfielders, though, top of the pile, double game week player Son, the player that everyone wanted, and Leighton will be back shortly. He's just making sure that the cats don't destroy his home. Looking at the midfielders, Son, top of the pile, Mahrez plays well when he actually plays. Salah
Oh,
still
yes, so good. It's so annoying, right? Why doesn't he play?
because of
He should go to Newcastle.
ooh, wow. That'd be a great signing. Looking at the other players, though, Lucas Moura doing very well over the last few games, and I think he will play going forward because he's someone that Conte can rely on. He's a very hard worker, so I think he will play 2 games. If I were to choose personally between Moura and Madison, I think I'm going Moura.
But do Tottenham have the fixtures?
Not necessarily, but they do have 4 double game weeks coming up.
Oh, okay. Then holy. Oh yeah, Jesus! They got so many games, right? I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I forgot
so
they've only played like 12 games this year.
so even though Son is coming back in, I don't know, maybe could be February, could be maybe a bit later.
Hmm.
He could
Well,
miss
he could be a good
a few
placeholder.
a few of the double game weeks. So why not get Mora?
Don't you think that for Conte it must be quite frustrating because Arsenal, holy, sorry, Tottenham fans, Tottenham haven't made any movement in this transfer window at all.
Yet,
Seems ridiculous.
yeah,
There must have been some reason Conte agreed to go to Tottenham because he could have just waited for Man United. But
I think so. I think that
well,
he's been assessing the squad, and I think they're going to focus on selling players first, and then he'll buy. He's not the kind of manager who just buys for the sake of it. So I think they're still discussing terms with Traore from Wolves.
Lukaku. Oh yeah, I
Please,
saw that. Yeah,
yeah. So he could do a job.
yeah, yeah. Mora, it's. I guess it's not a bad shout with all those games coming up. I forgot about that.
Besides
Maybe
that,
I'll get
though,
him.
there's more maybe. But again, in your case, if for people who've been planning for the Spurs double game weeks,
Mm,
you have double Spurs defense already, so you can only get one more.
yeah.
So and you have Son, so you have to sell him. But if you want to get Kane now, you can't get Mora.
I mean,
If you
I'm personally probably not going to go to Kane because I'd
yeah,
have to sell Son and I'd have to sell Ronaldo or Antonio. Right.
wouldn't personally, I wouldn't.
Yes, I'm not bothered. If it was a free hit, of course I'd get Kane. I'd probably get Kane, Mora, and one defender.
If you find out on Friday that Ronaldo is not fit for one of the games, like if he just misses one
Mm,
game entirely, would you consider doing Kane?
yeah, I probably would. I feel like Kane's nailed on.
And then you captain Kane.
Oh yeah. If Kane is in my team, he's the captain. No, even though he's been dog recent, he's been awful this year or last year.
For me, looking at this list, midfielders wise, I don't know. There's something about my midfield that I look at it and think I'm not unhappy with him because I mean me, I still own Salah. So
Yeah,
we'll talk about my potential transfers, but at the moment I'm probably not going to sell Salah. I'm going to wait it out. So
yeah,
I have Jota in midfield. I have Bernardo, who I guess isn't great, but I'm keeping him because they play Chelsea this week and then they have a good run of games. So there's no point in
yeah,
selling him now. Uh, I have Gray, who, okay, fair. He doesn't have a great game because he has to play a second game soon, and it's an Everton team that does badly. And then I have Bowen, who's doing well. So I can't sell anyone to buy anyone in midfield. I can only sell Salah, and that makes no sense.
but the more you talk, the more I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, and then suddenly I'm on a -8. I'm like, okay, Gundogan out, get a double game player. Son out, get a double game player.
Ronaldo out, get Kane.
Without, well, I'd probably try and be like Tony out, getting Kane. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? That's what I'm doing later. I'm gonna be like, can I do this?
Having a look at the forwards, though, we haven't mentioned this team yet, but I will shortly. Looking at the forwards, top of the list at the moment, Kane, double game weeks, right on top for stats over the last 5 game weeks. Edouard from Crystal Palace. Antonio's back there doing well
Mm-hmm.
again. Lacazette in that inform Arsenal, still doing well. And then a
No,
trove
they
of.
just lost to Nottingham Forest.
Okay, well, we don't count that.
Yeah,
And then the plethora of options for double game week teams. Ronaldo, Iheanacho is not there. Chris Wood, who's no longer there either. He's now at Newcastle, so that shouldn't be there anymore. Um,
Yeah.
if you were me and I was looking at a United striker and I didn't want to buy Ronaldo, what do you think of me buying Cavani?
I think it's too risky. I don't think he's going to get a full 90, do you?
Probably not.
So I just don't see what's the point of bringing in Cavani.
Because he's cheap.
Don't think he'll get. He's cheap. He's cheap, but I think I think he'll play half of one game or something. He's just not. He's not quick enough. It's going to
And
come on last 10 minutes.
all right, and then looking at players who've been in form recently but who don't score
Mm,
as much. Josh King for
mm.
Watford, who have the best fixtures, and Mopay from Brighton. What do you think of them?
This is form versus
Fixtures
fixture,
always.
right?
Yeah.
King for Watford. Okay, Watford have good fixtures, but it's Watford. Okay, Brighton have good fixtures, but it's Brighton. They're going to score. Is King going to score?
You
He's
have,
so cheap, though.
yeah. Looking at the,
I know I have Tony and I have some dog players, but you're asking me if what you should bring in, right? The difference between you and I is my budget. Let's say we're car shopping. My budget is I could buy a Chevrolet, and your budget is you could buy a Lamborghini. Or no, you could buy a Tesla.
I
You're
mean,
shopping in a different market from me, man.
true, but okay, even despite that, if you were to ask me, okay, go ahead, ask me, who would I rather buy for this game week? Dennis or Lukaku? They
Mm,
both have double game weeks. I can afford both.
yeah. Who would you buy?
Dennis.
But that's because Lukaku's been a very naughty boy and isn't on Santa's nice list. So he's not going to get any of his toys.
But it's because Dennis is in form and he has the best fixtures, and I can get him in one move, and I'm potentially going to captain him.
But the difference is that Dennis is in reasonable good form.
Doesn't look like it there, but he has been.
But yeah, like there, he's not been. But Lukaku's not been playing. So of course you would buy Dennis. That's different. It's like buying a broken down Tesla or a car that works. Of course you buy the car that works.
Can I add on to your potential minus 12 that you're
Oh
considering?
yeah, please do. You
Would
know,
you
I'd still do another minus 12 before I would do a free hit.
would you consider Tony to Dennis this week? Considering Brentford have Liverpool and
Mm,
Man United, and Dennis has Burnley and the other one I don't remember. An easy game.
hold on. Let's go up. Give me 10 minutes whilst I find out where is
Watford.
Watford. Watford, where are you? I found Wolves. That's not helpful.
What are you?
I'm looking in the double game weeks, you donkey.
I think they're at the bottom or in the middle somewhere.
Oh, sorry, I think I'm on the wrong one. Was it? Oh, it's not on his, is it? It's on Ben's bloody one. I'm on the wrong one. Oh, Newcastle on Burnley.
There we go.
Oh, Jesus, they're good fixtures, eh?
Mm.
Holy shit, I got a free hit.
I think if I were to tell you to just put a draft together, I
Mm,
guarantee you the free hit draft this week, the front line is going to be Kane, Ronaldo, Dennis, and
yeah,
then
probably.
the midfield will be Madison,
Madison,
Mora,
Mora,
Jota, and
Jota.
Bowen against Leeds.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
4-3, and then
Defense.
in defense you have probably Region,
Mm,
Alonso or Rudiger,
mm.
and probably or maybe both of those. And then that's already 3-4-3. Your goalkeeper is going to be De Gea.
Yeah, probably.
It's a great team on paper.
Yeah, it's a great team on paper. The thing is, I already have. How many players do I have doing double game week? Maybe I have 5 already.
Yeah.
If I have a free hit just to get a few more double game week players.
But you have 2 free hits. Why not?
Yeah, I do have 2 free hits. That's true.
I'm not telling you to do it,
Oh,
but I'm
why
just.
you do this to me? I was so like, oh, not free hitting. I'm fine. I'm gonna be fine. I'll roll the dice. But now I'm like, why don't I play poker?
I'll let you stew in that while we do some predictions. How about
I
that?
hate stew. Okay.
Okay, before that, let's have a look at the fixtures going forward. Just to give the update on the fixtures from 22 to 27. Top of the pile fixtures wise teams is Man United, Watford second over the next 5 games. So if you're going to be buying a Watford striker like Dennis or King, they have pretty good fixtures. Everton still doing well. So if you're a beleaguered grey owner, just keep him. You never know. Watford, Newcastle. They've just signed Wood and Trippier. Who knows? Could do well for them. Brentford, I don't know why they're there, but you never know with Brentford. Like there's some games where they play like a horse, and then other games they do really well. So who knows? At the bottom of the list, though, Arsenal have the worst games, probably because they don't have as many as everyone else. Chelsea as well
Yeah.
have too many blanks, and Southampton and Leeds are also pretty low down. So those are the teams to target, I would say. And I would say look at Aston Villa too. Those fixtures, they aren't bad. They play Man United, but then they play Everton, Leeds, Newcastle, and
Yeah.
Watford.
Yeah. Really good ones coming up. And they'll have a double game week, right?
Yes. So predictions. Can you hear
Hold
me?
on. I can hear you. I've just, for some reason, I've
Your
broken it.
your sound changed slightly. I can still hear you though.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just turned off the Bluetooth headset. Hey, come on.
Anyway, carry on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think
Whatever. Let's do it like this. I'm sorry.
it's fine. As long as you can hear me and I can hear you, it's fine.
Yeah, so weird.
This week we have a Friday night kickoff, so remember to confirm your teams like immediately after the Friday press conferences. So for you, that's going to be at like, I don't know, midnight, whenever you go to bed.
Yeah, mine's 3 a.m. Saturday.
Yeah, so you better get that sorted out. Who do you want to go first, or should I?
Could you go first, please? I have to reopen the fixture.
Okay, first fixture is Brighton versus Crystal Palace. It's a derby game at Brighton. I think Brighton win this 1-0. Boring.
I think Crystal Palace will win this 1-0.
You're just being opposite now for no reason.
No, really. Man City, Chelsea. I feel like Man City are still annoyed at Chelsea for stealing a European Cup. So Man City 2-1.
I'm leaning towards a clean sheet for Man City, so I'm going to go 1-0 Man City.
1-0?
Yeah, it won't be massive, I don't think, but we'll see.
Did it work? No, I didn't.
Can you
Sorry.
still hear me?
I can still hear you. Just
Okay.
this sucks.
Okay, anyway, carry on. The next game is Burnley Leicester. What do we think is going to happen there?
What's your turn?
Sorry. Leicester 2-0.
Yeah. Yeah, Leicester 2-0. I'm with you on that.
They have no
I can't see
striker.
anything.
Cornet's
Yeah.
at AFCON. Yeah, unless it gets postponed again.
Ugh,
And
that's the worst, right?
that's the reason why I'm not as tempted to buy Madison, because their squad at the moment seems as thin as Norwich, basically, at the moment. So I'm not as tempted.
Thin as my hair.
Yes. Newcastle, Watford.
So, they've made a couple of good signings. I'm going to say Newcastle finally get a win. Would come out the gates flying 2-1 Newcastle.
I think there's going to be goals. Neither team have good defenses, so I'm going to go higher than that. I'm going to go 3-2, and I'm going to say Newcastle lose 3-2.
Thought so. I like when you say there are going to be goals. There should be goals. It's football.
There should be, I agree.
There should. All right, Everton.
The opposite of that, so no goals.
Yeah.
0-0.
Mm.
Actually,
As terrible as Everton are, 1-0 Everton. Norwich can't buy a win.
I won't change it, but I think if I would say 1-0 Everton as well, because the next game, Wolves and Southampton, that has 0-0 all over it.
That has 0-0. No goal. No shots on target. Nothing.
Wolves, however, interesting stat. Wolves have the second best defense in the league for the season.
Yeah, but all season, Wolves' stats have been amazing.
Yeah,
right.
They don't score goals, but they don't concede either. So I think they've conceded 15 goals, and that's second to Man City, who've conceded 14.
So boring, though. Could you imagine buying a ticket to go watch Wolves? Ugh.
No. Aston Villa, Man United. What do you think?
Oh, this one's difficult. Oh, see, the form is with Aston Villa. You just don't know with Man United, right? I think Man United should win with their squad, but it's a home game for Villa. I'm going to say Villa. I'm going to say 2-1 Aston Villa.
This is one of the reasons why I'm probably not going to take a hit this week, because if I take a hit to get 2 double game week players, then I have to bench Watkins, and I don't want to bench Watkins against Man United. So yeah, I'm leaning towards Aston Villa too. Maybe 1-0.
Yeah,
1-0. Sunday games: Liverpool and Brentford. Last time they played, this was a entertaining 3-3 draw. I'm going to say it's a 2-0 win to Liverpool.
To Liverpool.
Yes.
I'm going to say it'll be 3-0 win to Liverpool.
Good. West Ham Leeds. Ooh, goals.
God, that's. 3-1 West Ham.
Yes. I've said 2-0 a lot, but I think I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah. This one's difficult. Spurs, Arsenal, the London derby at the new Tottenham Stadium.
Both teams in pretty good form of late.
Are Spurs in good form?
I'm comparing them to pre-Conte. Like, you can see they're getting better. Without a doubt.
But Son's injured.
Son is injured, and that's a big difference. And that
Son always does well against Arsenal.
It's probably the reason why I'm not going to buy Kane, even though Kane loves Arsenal and he loves Leicester. But 1-1.
You don't go to a London derby for a draw. That's just BS. That is. No. I think Arsenal at the moment, they've got a flow. They're passing well. They're playing for the coach. They're young. They're fast. Spurs, look, they're trying to get used to Conte's system. I'm going to say Arsenal 2-1. I think Kane will score because he's got a habit of scoring as that. So I'm going Arsenal. I'm going to say they're going to upset Spurs.
Okay. And then we get to the double game week fixtures. So Burnley versus
Watford. What a boring game.
What do you think?
1-1. No. Actually, Burnley can't score. 1-0 Watford. I change it. 1-0 Watford.
Why am I leaning towards a Burnley win here? I want to buy Dennis. My gut on paper, Watford should win this. Dennis and King in form. Burnley no striker, no defense this season. But I'm still leaning towards a Burnley win. I don't like that. Yes,
Do it.
Burnley win 1-0.
I'm excited to see how well we're doing in these predictions again.
Speaking of, I was meant to do the stats for that, but I thought
Mm.
we should wait a while maybe before we do that again. Brighton and Chelsea. What do you think? Or should I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
2-1 Chelsea. Lukaku.
Nah, 3-0 Chelsea.
Okay, that's nice of you.
Leicester
Wednesday
Spurs.
night.
That's difficult. Leicester have a really injured team. Spurs have key injuries. I'm going to say Spurs 2-1.
I think they steamrolled them. I think Spurs won 3, maybe 4-0.
Really?
Yeah,
That much?
yeah. I don't know why. I just again, my gut says there's no way Leicester win this.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. And last one, Brentford, Manchester United.
I don't want to jinx myself, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna put on record that I think Ronaldo blanks in both games. And I think, just to make it even worse, I think Tony scores in this game. So
No,
1-0 Brentford.
but this is where Ronaldo scores his hat trick. I mean, if this was Alex Ferguson, Man United, and they were playing Brentford, I'd say like 4-0, but it's not. It's meh, Man United.
Man United.
Uh, 2-0 Man United. They can't lose this one.
I'm just thinking about when Brentford played Liverpool at whatever Brentford Stadium is called, and
Mm,
they went gung ho with Liverpool all the way. And they've done that in numerous big games. They played Chelsea and did the same thing there. I can't remember the other games as much. They beat Arsenal there on the first day of the season. Man United, it could go either way. I don't think it's as simple as captaining Ronaldo this week as people make it think it is.
well, it might not be just because we don't know if he plays that double game week. Also, isn't Brentford Stadium called the Brentford Stadium or the Brentford Community Stadium or something? Like, I seriously
I,
think it's
I
something like
was
that.
gonna say that, but I thought, wait, that doesn't sound right, but it also does. So I don't know.
I think it's Brentford. I think it's the Community Stadium.
That does sound right. Brentford supporters stadium, maybe.
I think so.
Is the cat just
Yeah, he's just
ransacking the camera?
yeah, he's just having a just having a look.
All right. Having a look at the game week going forward. Currently on paper, you have one, two, three, four, five. You have 5 double game weekers. You
Ah,
six. It would have been 6 if Son was fit. It would have been an
mm.
insane team. Okay, it still is. You have 5. So you're
That's
probably
why.
yeah.
Do I free hit?
No,
You don't think so?
but you okay? No, wait. Let's have a look. In goal, you have De Gea. Sofel plays Leeds. Region has a double game week. Trent, Davis, you're all keeping those. Bowen's just
Yeah.
scored a brace. He's in amazing form. He's playing a Leeds defense who can't defend.
Mm.
Gundogan, ugh, but you never know.
Mm.
Gray
Yeah.
plays Norwich. You have to keep him.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Antonio, you have to keep him. The only people you possibly can sell are Son, who's injured. And even if you do sell Son, who do you bench? Because you're gonna buy Madison or Mora probably, right?
Yeah.
So then who are you
Who
gonna
do I
bench?
bench? Gundogan.
Probably
Chelsea, probably.
that has to be Gundogan there.
Mm. Not. I'm not benching Gray versus Norwich, am I?
No, you can't, and you can't afford Son and Gundogan to Kane. Oh no, hang on, that's two midfielders. Sorry, Would you consider selling Tony for Dennis?
I don't know. I would consider it because Dennis has better fixtures, I guess.
And he plays Norwich next week as well.
Yeah, I'd consider it.
Because at the moment, you don't need to sell. Okay, Son's out long term, so you should sell Son. But yeah,
Yeah,
so you sell Son, you get Madison, keep the money. You could sell Tony and get Dennis for a -4, maybe worth it. But you're selling Tony, who has 2 games, even though it's 2 bad games.
but the problem is, I just anticipated Leicester and slapped up in both the games.
I'm not. I'm not going to buy Leicester for that reason. I think they might.
Liverpool is such a good fixture as well in Brentford. I wouldn't be against going back to Jota.
I just realized you don't have him. Wow.
I got rid of him when he was supposed to be injured and he played.
I mean, you could. There's Jota as well.
Because
Okay, so
I could go Gundogan and Son to Jota and Mora.
you could, or you could free hit. Who knows? But you
I
can.
don't think I will free hit
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't on paper.
because the West Ham players have a good game. Trent, great game. Gray, great game. Yeah, I don't think Gray, great game. Yeah, I don't think I'll free hit. I just don't think there's any point.
If anything, you could do a -8 again, but that's just stupid. I would just do 1 transfer or 2.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason
Max.
I'd be free hitting is desperately trying to get Kane in, right? Because you want a big captain. There's no big captains when I look at my team. I
Agreed.
like Captain De Gea. He's got 2 good games.
If for whatever reason we find out that Ronaldo is not fit, so he's ruled out of the game,
Then I'd
and
probably go to Kane.
would you just go straight to? Would you sell Son and Ronaldo and get Kane?
Yeah, I'd probably get Kane and Mora. No, I can't. Kane and Jota like that,
I mean, you could still
or
get
Kane and Madison.
you could still
Who
get
knows?
Mora. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can't get
No,
Mora.
I
Sorry.
couldn't get Kane
Yeah.
and Mora
Yeah. Yeah.
because I got 2 defenders, and hopefully they play. I have a problem with defenders.
It's an interesting one, though. I think your team's pretty
Well,
well
it's,
set up here.
oh yeah, for once,
Yeah, you've you've
pure
okay.
fluke.
You have somehow not lucked into it, but you've ended up with a very
Hmm.
good-looking team going forward. On the bench,
It's
though, you
because I
have
kept those Tottenham players
yeah,
because they missed so many games. So I lost out on that. So now it's like, well, I kept them for so long. Finally, they have a game.
yeah. On your bench, you have Livermento. I guess long term,
Yeah,
you have to fix him out soon.
yeah. Right now, he's not. I would prefer to get out Son from Livramento.
I think okay, so captaincy then. Are you tempted to captain Bowen against Leeds?
No, no, I'd probably still go for a double game week player like De Gea.
They
If
all
he gets,
if Ronaldo's fit to
yeah, if De Gea gets a clean sheet, it's worth it.
okay.
If Ronaldo's fit, of course, I captain Ronaldo. If they come out and say Ronaldo's fit, he's playing, and boom, he's the captain.
Okay. I like
I have
this
no
idea.
triple captain anymore.
All right. Looking at me for the double game week. Uh, Unlike you, I am not set up for this well at all because I was initially considering a free hit before they announced it, and then we ended up getting the hogwash fixtures that we did. I have De Gea in goal, Trent at the back, double City defense playing Chelsea this week. Davis, who I brought in last week, happy to have him. I only have 3 double game weekers. Uh, Bowen, Jota, Bernardo, and Gray in midfield, and then up front I have Watkins and Antonio. On the bench, I have Salah, who's still gone, Livermento, who's injured, and Broha, who has a flag. Didn't know that. Um,
Wow, you've won 2 double game week players.
1, 2. Yes. I have 2 double gaming players. So I'm not very well set up at all. Hence, initially considering the free hit.
Yeah,
However, we've spoken about single game week players who could do well this week. So again, I'm not selling Bowen. I'm not selling Watkins. I'm not selling Antonio. Gray plays Norwich. I'm not selling him. So the Jota won't sell either, and none of the back line.
Mm.
So I would be free hitting for my bench players who won't play anyway.
Mm.
And I don't think the players who play twice, whether it be Tony, Madison, I don't think they outscore Jota or Watkins, or maybe that's why I'm considering the one transfer is Broha to Dennis. And then I play Dennis ahead of, I'm not sure who, probably Bernardo. And then I have Bernardo first sub, and then I potentially captain Dennis against Newcastle and Burnley, or I captain De Gea. That's one free transfer.
Yeah.
That's the safe route. That probably makes it's okay, safe-ish, I guess. That's if I don't want to take a hit. If I take a hit, I can do Broha and Livramento to Dennis and a Brighton defender, Cucurella, I was considering, because he has good stats and fixtures. But then again, then I have to bench two players, and that means Bernardo and probably, I guess it would have to be Watkins or Gray. And I think either of them could score. And do I think Cucurella gets a clean sheet playing against Chelsea? No. Do I think he's going to get a clean sheet against Palace? Maybe. So that equals the same as Gray and Watkins, basically, I think. So I'm probably not going to do a hit in that sense. And then my free hit team. Oh, the other hit I could do is uh, Salah and Broha to Kane and Madison, or Kane and Mora. And that sounds sexy on paper because then I have Kane, Watkins, and Antonio. But then I don't have Salah. What do you think of that? -4.
Uh, I'm looking at your free hit draft, and I'm like, this would be good, but then you've got no free hit the rest of the season, eh?
Yes. And we've mentioned that 27 is, or I mentioned that 27 is going to be a big blank game week. Might be a good time to free hit
Mm.
then.
Yeah,
I haven't added it in the stream, but yeah, my free hit draft. Can you just read it out to me because I don't have it on screen yet?
you'd have De Gea in goal with Sanchez on the bench, Trent, Alonso, Reguilon, Davis, and yeah, Cucurella, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Madison, Jota, Bowen, Brownhill, Kane, Ronaldo, and Dennis.
that's a sexy team on paper. That's going to be the template, I think.
And you'd captain Kane in that scenario.
Most likely, yes. But then, yeah, then
But
I don't have a free hit later on.
the problem is, if that free hit goes magnificently, you'll be grinning, right? You'll be like, sweet. But if it doesn't go great, you're going to spend the rest of the season just dreading those weeks where you have no free hit.
Yes, I think, again, this is not personal opinion, but I think the fact that I did the same thing basically in December, where
Mm,
I played the free hit, I made that sexy free hit draft that I had, where I had this exact same front lineup. I had Dennis, Kane, Ronaldo, Salah,
mm,
etc. in midfield. It was very similar to the team that you're looking at. And what happened? I got like an average score. So the fact that
yeah.
that's happened, I don't want to get burned again.
But if you take this -4, you don't have Kane up front as your captain anyway.
Who was I captaining?
Wouldn't you captain Kane?
Yes, I would if I did the -4, but then I would be selling Salah. But I want to buy Salah back in about 2 weeks when he's back. So is it worth it?
You just got to hope Egypt have the best run of their lives and they're in the tournament for longer. Because if you get Kane in, Kane's got some double game weeks coming up anyway. Extra double game weeks.
Yes, and again, if it was Kane and Son, if I knew Son was fit, Kane would be in, no doubt. This hit would be easy.
Mm.
but he's not. So
Yeah, if Son was fit, I would be so happy this week. He would be my captain. I'd be so excited. Like this team is set. But because Son is not fit, throws a bit of a spanner in the works.
I'm quite happy about it because I didn't buy Son in the end. So
Yeah,
it's good for me, but
he's been pretty good.
I think I'm not going to
The
take a
Man, the
hit.
Man City defense this game week against Chelsea is a bit worrying. Maybe Chelsea won't score, but I expect them to score a goal.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going with a 1-0
Mm.
to Man City because of the fact that they're just in such crazy form. But
Yeah, yeah, they really are.
that could go either way.
Well,
I could take the again, if I take the hit and I get
mm,
Cucurella, then am I going to realistically bench Diaz over Cucurella who plays twice? Probably not.
I would. I'd still bench someone who's got 2 games.
I would bench him over Bernardo, I think.
Oh, sure. But if you take 8, you have Madison and Kane anyway, right?
But yeah, I mean, yes, on paper again, everyone's raging over Madison or raving over him. I
Mm.
first,
Raging over him.
I don't think that
Brrr.
I don't think that they're as good as they seem on paper, and
Mm.
I think they could get spanked. And Madison's been yellow flagged recently, so I don't think he's as reliable. So I'm willing to go without him.
Yeah, I mean the Burnley game is great. He might go get a hat trick, right? So
I would still get more over him. That's
you
me.
say that, but why wouldn't Mora be in your draft and you get a different defender? Just money?
I can't remember my reasoning at the time. I think I was just
Mm.
putting the best team on paper at the time
Mm.
into that draft. I think even with that draft, I still had money left over. That's why I got like Sanchez and goal. I tried to spend the
Mm.
money, but I didn't. I still had extra.
The problem with Leicester is in a few weeks they're going to have Liverpool and West Ham as well. That's it's not great.
Nah, it isn't.
I mean, I like the look of your free hit team.
And that could easily be
I think it
yours.
looks really good, huh?
That could easily be yours. Look at your team and
Yeah,
then look at the free hit and think, huh.
I'm not free hitting, man. I'm not. There's no point. Like if I had 2 players who were playing a double game week like you, then sure I'd say okay, I'm gonna maybe I'm free hitting. I have 5 players, and if I get rid of Son, I've got 6 double game week with West Ham and Liverpool defender. I don't need. I feel like I don't need to free hit.
No,
Um,
wouldn't do it.
I probably wouldn't. I'd probably also recommend you to not free hit, even though this team looks great. The only reason you'd free hit is to keep Salah, really. I mean, this is a good team, though.
I think that I could do better with a free hit in a later blank game week when there's only like 4 or 3
Yeah.
games, because then you can free hit, get 3 of each player in
Mm,
one of those games, and then you do much better. In this situation, I
yeah,
don't think it's as beneficial.
he's good.
If the fixtures were
Well,
better, maybe, but no, they're not.
that's the thing, right? The fixtures aren't good. I mean, if the fixtures are better, I would free hit too.
It's
So
not worth the
yeah, I
risk.
wouldn't. I wouldn't free hit. I'd probably get Madison and Kane in. Just get Salah back after he comes back. What's the point of holding on to him? Just because the money?
Yeah, and because Egypt lost their first game, so
Yeah.
we'll see if there's more news on the results later in the week. I haven't watched much, to be fair. Um,
No.
I'll consider it, and but again, I wouldn't get Madison. It would be Mora and Kane probably, and then I would captain Kane, and then I would have to bench
The
Bernardo.
only problem, oh, the big problem is the captaincy, isn't it?
But I also want Dennis. That's the thing. So if I'm not going to do a -8, there's no way. So who would I rather have?
I do -8s all the time.
I know you do. Who would I rather have? Kane against those two teams without Son, or would I have an informed Dennis against the two worst defenses in the league for free?
Probably Dennis, wouldn't you? I
So
would.
the sensible person in me is gonna go Dennis.
Hmm.
Toughie.
You watch. I'm gonna still take like a -8 or something. You'll be like, what? Why are you taking a -8? I'm like, I needed Dennis, I needed Kane, I needed Kane's brother, his wife, sister-in-law.
Just to be ready. You never know.
So just to be, prepared.
Yeah. Anyway,
Been a long stream.
we have, yes. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Twitter at FanChallenged, on Instagram and Twitter, on YouTube. I almost said Facebook. On YouTube, you can subscribe to us, Fantasy Challenge, one word. Like and subscribe, please, right above Leighton's head. And if you want to listen to the podcasts, you can listen to them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you find them. And besides that, yes, it has been a long stream, but we haven't spoken for a long time, so why not?
True. We missed each other.
Okay. And we bragged
Just
about
okay.
and we bragged about your massive score this week, so we had to have you on. We found a way.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very excited. I'm glad I came on today. If we did this yesterday, I would have been like, I'm so worried.
Yeah. Good timing though in the end. Hopefully you have another good double game week and you move into the top million and I move into the top 50K, hopefully. Actually, no, I'm hoping I don't get a red arrow. That's all I'm hoping for this week.
Red arrow. You're going to fall to 1 million.
That would suck so much. Anyway, on that note, good luck. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye, everyone.